afternoon and welcome back to RMU-Live for Monday, March 12, 2018. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Logan Carney. Here's what's happening now.
Today, Donald Trump Jr. and Republican congressional candidate Rick Saccone will be campaigning in western Pennsylvania at the Sarah's Candy Factory, as well as meeting with volunteer service members from the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department.
Now it's just one day before the special election, and early last week, Connor Lamb had a special guest on the campaign trail with him. Our very own Sam Anthony has more.
I'm here at Yorktown Hall at Robert Morris University, where Connor Lamb and Joe Biden just finished speaking as Connor Lamb is making his final push here days before the special election in the 18th District of Pennsylvania.
Let me introduce two great Americans, two great public servants, our candidate, Connor Lamb, and our former Vice President.
After being introduced by Lamb, former Vice President Biden gave his pitch as to why voters should get behind the 33-year-old candidate. Biden compared Lamb to his son, Beau, who, like Lamb, served in the U.S. military, while hitting on some of Lamb's key campaign points, such as protecting Social Security and Medicare.
And the man I'm campaigning for today, the highest compliment I can give him or anyone else, reminds me of my son, Beau Biden. No, he does. What do these guys do? He fights for retraining and job training. These guys say, no, we can't afford it. But they can afford an obscene tax cut.
A lot of polls have this election as a toss-up going into its final days. The election takes place March 13th, so don't forget to go out and vote. This has been Sam Anthony reporting for RMU-TV.
I'm just soaking this in for a second here.
With just one day left till the special election, both candidates are clearly pulling out all the stops on the trail.
President Donald Trump was in Moon Township Saturday at an Atlantic aviation hangar to campaign ahead of the 2018 and 2020 elections. Trump was also in town to support Republican candidate Rick Saccone, who is running against Democrat Connor Lamb in tomorrow's 18th Congressional District special election. Trump visited the same area in January to also campaign for Saccone. Trump tweeted out early Sunday morning that the Republicans are 5-0 in recent congressional races. The president stated that in recent special election races, Republicans have yet to lose to a Democratic candidate. Victories under Trump's backing include wins in Kansas, Montana, Georgia, South Carolina, and Utah. Tomorrow, voters across western Pennsylvania will flock to polling stations to vote in the congressional special election. You can watch live coverage from your RMU Live news team right here, starting tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Penn State Beaver is trying to get Beaver County to pay for a $250,000 endowment pledge made by the county commissioners in 2015, saying that it is legally binding. As of now, Penn State has only received $50,000. The money is supposed to fund a scholarship and the school STEM program. A report last week also said that the county has a $4.7 million surplus. It is unclear whether the county intends to pay Penn State Beaver or not. Now we're going to send you to a story at a girl who ran away from home. Joy Howe has more.
She just turned 16 years old.
The same month, Amy Yu turned 16. Her mother says mysterious early sign-outs began at her school. Her family lives in Allentown, and Amy attends Lehigh Valley Academy Regional Charter School near Bethlehem. And at least 10 times between December and February 9th, the same signature was on an early dismissal form. The name? Kevin Esterly, according to Colonial Regional Police, who have jurisdiction in the area where the school is.
My mom was upset, and I was upset also.
Amy's brother says they met Esterly at church years ago. Amy became close with one of his daughters. But police say somewhere along the line, Esterly began having a secret relationship with Amy. Hundreds of texts were exchanged. The school called police after one of those early sign-outs in February. Authorities say Amy was asked if she had a relationship with Esterly, and she denied that. Authorities say they then told Esterly and his wife to stay away from Amy. While we don't know why Esterly's wife was told to keep her distance, police did confirm that in the past they were called to the Esterly's home in Orfield for a domestic incident between the two. Then on Monday, Amy's mom dropped Amy and John off at the bus stop. That's when Amy disappeared.
She left.
What do you mean she left?
She just walked out. She just went somewhere.
Police do believe the pair are together, and while it doesn't appear Amy was taken against her will, they still have a warrant out for Esterly's arrest. Her family, meantime, is praying she comes back home.
Please God and God help me to bring her back.
The man who was once a friend of the family is now a fugitive from the law and caught up in the middle, a teenage girl, young, loved, and missed.
Please come back.
As of now, authorities are still looking for the whereabouts of Amy U.
Carnegie Mellon University has announced their new president of the school last Thursday. The university that has about 14,500 students announced that Farnum Jananian has been appointed as the university's 10th president. The Iranian-American obtained a master's degree and a PhD in computer science from the University of Texas, Austin.
Scary stuff throughout the Northeast this week as thunder snow knocked power out for many. Eric D. Bill has more on the story.
Using a generator is the only way Arnold's Country Mini Mart has been able to open this week. No power means no credit cards. It's been cash only here, and workers have been offering free coffee to keep the community spirits up.
No, you don't know what you lose until you don't have it. You don't know, and now we understand.
Robert Scalen stopped by Friday to pick up extra propane. Friday marked 1 full week since he's had power, but he's found ways to cope, like using his grill even during the winter.
The weather's nice like today. Just pop it open, throw a couple burgers on or whatever. Or I have a side burner, heat up some chili, heat up some water for tea. No problem.
No power also means no traffic signals, so drivers here at the intersection of Route 739 and Milford Road have had to take it easy. Utility crews are everywhere you look in Delaware Township working to restore service. Their efforts are paying off. Tom Bosch got his power back 15 minutes before talking with us.
It's a reason to celebrate, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to celebrate and
take a nice hot shower.
Hot shower, everything, yeah. Hot meal.
Jane Moore got her lights back after 6 days.
And a shower makes all the difference in the world, and heat.
As the community recovers, Paul Acosta of New York State came back to dig out his car from a snow pile. He was forced off the roads with his kids last Friday. They spent all night in the vehicle.
Kids were definitely scared. My kids were definitely scared. I had to let them know that, it'd be all right.
In Delaware Township, Eric Dable, Eyewitness News.
Now we're going to send it to our chief meteorologist, Avin Patel, with more about this crazy weather going on. Hey, Avin, how's the weather looking?
Thanks, Logan. Thanks, Gage. We here. We lie in front of the famous, iconic RMU built, the Nicholson Center. Out here, we are pretty chilly. Maybe bring some hoodie. A little beanie. Let me got pretty sweet though. Outside is pretty chill, I guess. We're gonna send it back to the desk to end this segment.
For the best coverage in Robert Morris and around the Pittsburgh area, be sure to check out RMUCenturyMedia.com. Coming up, find out what is happening to the nation's largest toy store, and the National Rifle Association has filed a federal lawsuit against the state of Florida. Stay right here with us and don't go anywhere.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
to be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want. I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing to be able to see students become successful after Upper Morning. It's really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
The National Rifle Association, or the NRA, is suing the state of Florida after it passed a gun control law following a school shooting that left 17 people dead. That the enacted bill violates the Constitution. The law in question raises the legal age for buying rifles in Florida, but also allows training in the arming of school staff. The law does not ban semi-automatic rifles, but it does bring a new 3-day waiting period on all gun sales. Another familiar face might be coming to Netflix. Former President Barack Obama is reportedly in advanced negotiations with the online streaming company to produce a series of high-profile shows. This reports from the New York Times as the shows will provide him a global platform after his departure from the White House released those involved with the deal. There has not been a release date set for Obama's deal with Netflix. A hostage situation unfolded in a veterans home that has left 3 people dead. Here's more in the story with Kim Hutcherson.
A standoff at a veterans home in Yountville, California ended in tragedy. Authorities spent nearly 8 hours trying to contact a gunman holding 3 women hostage, ultimately storming the scene and making a grim discovery shortly before 6 p.m.
Law enforcement personnel made entry into the room where we felt the hostages were being held by the suspect, and unfortunately made the discovery of 3 deceased females and 1 deceased male suspect.
The victims were identified as Christine Lober, Dr. Jennifer Golick, and Dr. Jennifer Gonzalez. The 3 women were working at the Pathway Home, a nonprofit that helps veterans who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Staff were throwing a party when the suspect barged in.
They were having cake and, toasting and all that, and then apparently he just walked in with this rifle.
The suspect has been identified as 36-year-old Albert Wong. An official said he was honorably discharged from the Army. Wong was a client at the Pathway Home. Law enforcement sources say he was kicked out 2 weeks ago after making a violent threat against one of the women he took hostage. As investigators piece together a motive, the community is trying to return to normal.
You can't put it into words. It hurts our community. The families have been just shaken to the core.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
These types of situations are only increasing the call for congressmen and more people in government to push a gun control legislation. But now we're going to move on to a story from Toys R Us. Is less than a year after they filed for bankruptcy, the big box toy store has announced that it will close 184 of its 800 stores nationwide. High prices and inability to adapt to a changing market that now includes players online such as Amazon are big reasons for the toy store's demise. The company is trying to sell the remaining assets, but they may even end up closing all of their stores within the week. The mayor of a city in California has responded to the president, calling her a disgrace. Felipe Dejal has more on the story in San Jose.
When it comes to President Donald Trump and his thoughts on the city of Oakland,
which he once called one of the most dangerous places in the world.
It's shameful.
Oakland Councilman Dan Kolb does not mince words.
Once again, the president is sticking his foot in his mouth and is showing that he doesn't care about all the people in our country.
Kolb's colleague, council member at large Rebecca Kaplan, also coming to Mayor Libby Schaaf's defense, saying the mayor's decision less than 2 weeks ago to warn the public about imminent immigration and customs enforcement raids in the Bay Area was bold.
I think it is essential that we stand united against the ridiculous actions of this federal government. They are not keeping people safe. They are tearing apart our communities.
2018 Oakland mayoral candidate Ken Houston says Mayor Schaaf's heart may have been in the right place, but says her execution was poor.
If you warn someone, you don't warn them with fear. You warn them with information to protect themselves, Philippe. You warn them to be ready, not be reactive, be proactive.
As for Mayor Schaaf, she took the president's comments in stride.
I am proud to live in a country where everyone can criticize elected officials.
After the raids, the Department of Justice said the mayor's warning allowed at least 800 undocumented immigrants to avoid an arrest. On Thursday, President Trump saying that number is closer to 1,000.
Speaking of President Trump, he was also in Western Pennsylvania campaigning this past weekend.
Hospitals and other medical facilities are offering up big-time bonuses and perks for those that are interested in nursing and other medical-related fields. The nation is undergoing a massive nursing shortage, according to the American Nurses Association. Some of the incentives to be a nurse include 5-figure signing bonuses, free housing, and college tuition for employees and their children.
13-year-old Bo Shell is set to treat 100 girls to a screening of the movie A Wrinkle of Time. The 13-year-old has run his own ice cream business since he was just 9 years old. For this, though, he raised $5,000 to give a movie ticket to girls with an interest in STEM programs. All girls must be nominated by a teacher to get the ticket. Coming up, President Donald Trump has agreed to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
And we dive into a couple of headlines made by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Don't go anywhere.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
President Donald Trump was invited by the leader of North Korea to talk about nuclear weapons. Mary Maloney has more on the story.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he is committed to denuclearization.
Oh, I thought that was Mary Maloney.
Kim pledged that North Korea will refrain from any further nuclear or missile tests.
In a stunning turn of events, North Korea's dictator has offered to suspend nuclear missile tests and invited President Donald Trump to meet. South Korea's national security advisor delivered the message from Kim Jong-un to Trump Thursday.
I explained to President Trump that his leadership and his maximum pressure policy, together with international solidarity, brought us to this juncture.
Catching many off guard, Trump delivered the news by popping his head into the White House briefing room earlier to tease that a major announcement was coming from South Korea.
President Trump appreciated the briefing and said he would meet Kim Jong-un by May to achieve permanent denuclearization.
While the meeting sounds hopeful, the South Korean delegation says it remains cautiously optimistic.
The Republic of Korea, the United States, and our partners stand together in insisting that we not repeat the mistakes of the past, and that the pressure will continue until North Korea matches its words with concrete actions.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Thank you, Mary. The White House has yet to announce a date of talks between the two nation leaders, but is expected to happen before May.
Now, before the 2014 Olympics in Russia, Vladimir Putin reportedly gave an order to shoot down a passenger plane after he received reports that the plane was hijacked and was en route to bomb the Olympic Games. Thankfully, the plane carrying 110 pedestrian passengers was not actually hijacked, and therefore it wasn't shot down. Speaking of Russian President Vladimir Putin, he is under fire for suggesting that the U.S. election was rigged by Russian Jews. He also passed the blame to other minority groups in Russia before suggesting a different country did it, while strongly denying that the Russian government interfered with the election. The United States Intelligence Committee has blamed repeatedly Russia for election interference.
Elon Musk released at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, that he plans on testing flights to Mars next year. Musk stated that it is vital to have humans on the red planet before the next probable world war. Musk did state that his deadline might be a little exaggerated, but plans to hit the target.
It has been 7 years since Japan was devastated by the tsunami that leveled the country's east coast. The tsunami took out towns all along the coast and even a nuclear power plant. The recovery efforts, though, are still underway as they plan to finish the reconstruction of the 90% of the homes in the affected areas that were destroyed, while 70,000 people still remain under evacuation.
Be sure to tune into our other shows, RMU Live on Mondays at 1 p.m. and Fridays at noon, Sports Talk in the Berg and RMU Tonight Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Colonial Sports Center Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here, only on RMU-TV. Coming up, we check in the weather with Avin Patel, who's in our RMU Live Weather Center.
And we send you to Shuley on Sports with our sports anchor, Mike Shuley. Coming up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Robert Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shuley on Sports. I'm Michael Shuley, and let's dig into this weekend roundup. We're going to start off with the Pittsburgh Penguins, who split the two games they played this weekend, the first of which was on the road Saturday night in Toronto against the Maple Leafs. And the Leafs would go on to defeat the Penguins 5-2 Saturday night, as Morgan Riley helped the Leafs with the win with 3 assists on the night. And then last night, the Penguins returned home to take on the Dallas Stars, and the Pens were able to pull off the win and defeat the Stars 3-1. As Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin both had 2 points, and former Dallas star Alex Alexiak scored the game-winning goal for the Penguins, who will be in action again Wednesday night against the New York Rangers. The Pirates also split the 4 games they played this weekend in spring training. The first game saw the Buccos defeat the Philadelphia Phillies 5-4. However, things would not go so well the next day, as the Pirates would have 2 games on Saturday, and they lost both games of that doubleheader. One loss was the Atlanta Braves by a score of 15-1, and the other loss on the day came at the hands of the Baltimore Orioles, who defeated the Bucs 13-5. The Pirates were able to bounce back yesterday, though, as they beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-0, and the Pirates are back in action today against the Baltimore Orioles, and that game is currently underway. As for RMU athletics, it was a good weekend for the Robert Morris Colonials men's hockey team, as they punched their ticket to the AHC semifinals in Rochester, New York this weekend, and they did so by sweeping the Holy Cross Crusaders 2-0 in their 3-game series. The first game on Friday night saw the Colonials win by a score of 4-1, and the second game Saturday by a score of 5-1. Sophomore Luke Lynch helped lead the charge for the Colonials, as he registered 6 points in the 2 games this weekend. RMU will take on the Mercyhurst Lakers this Friday. And unfortunately for the RMU women's basketball team, they were not able to see the same success as the men's hockey team. And they were not able to three-peat as NEC conference champions either, as the Colonials fell at the hands of the St. Francis Red Flash 66-56 in the conference championship game. Jocelyn Jones led the way for RMU with 21 points. However, Jessica Kovac was able to post 29 of her own points to lead the Red Flash to the conference championship. Now we're going to send it over to Avin Patel for a look at today's weather.
Thanks, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a beautiful spring break over the time. Now, we got to go back to school for another 6 weeks. We have a high of 43 right here and a low of 26 with a chance of rain of 20% and a humidity of 51%. So I suggest you put some hairspray on in order to condition your hair down. As we hear for tomorrow, right there is going to be a high of 35 degrees, so it's about freezing, and a low of 24, which is not great if you're trying to do some night walking during the midnight. With a chance of 40% and a humidity of 61, so you need even more hairspray during that time. And here for a 5-day forecast, right here, we got Wednesday with 33 and low of 27 on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to see sunshine with 40 and a 24 low. On Friday, we're going to see some cloud again with high of 35 and low of 22. Saturday will be sunshine will come back with a high of 48, which is great, and low of 27. And with your Sunday forecast, sadly, is our high of 53, but it's going to be raining like raining. And with a low of 32. Now we're going to send it back to the desk to Logan and Gage to finish out this show.
Thank you, Avin. Really looking forward to that night walk. But spring coming up soon. Spring break was beautiful. Went to Florida, came back, not the same. Wish it was that warm. Like I said, looking forward to that night walk, but maybe next week, Avin, I'm not sure. We'll have to check in with you Friday and see what the weather's looking like.
Avin, I did prepare for the humidity with buying a lot of hairspray, just so you know. All prepared for it, watching out for that too. As Avin pointed out, as we got some, a little bit warmer weather than we did. It was still, a little bit colder than what we would hope for approaching springtime, but, Gage, it's can't wait to, as Avin likes to say, go out there for a night walk, even though it's not the best time to do it right now.
Absolutely. Now, the hairspray thing, I don't really have to worry about, I don't have that going on. But anyway, we'll see you guys Friday. That's all we have for RMU Live today. Thank you for joining us.